All right, we're gonna start with we're gonna do a high protein cottage cheese mac and cheese dinner. So we're gonna start out blending the cottage cheese, and it says to make sure you don't use anything less than 2% cottage cheese, otherwise it comes out looking, I guess. We'll find out. This is 2%, one of our favorite brands. And dump that in. And also 3/4 cup of milk. We use almond milk in this house, so it's going to be almond milk. Finish up this little carton. Oh gee, that was almost worth saving, hun. Okay, and set that there. I'm going to blend this to smooth out the cottage cheese a little bit. Then we're going to heat it all up. Obviously, this is hopefully not going to dump this out. There we go. 3/4 cup of milk. Put it in our little blender here. I love how this is going to agitate. Sorry for the noise, but and I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 tablespoons of salted butter. I've got stashed over here. And add that in. A teaspoon of mustard. And so just as soon as I can find stuff, wherever I put things here, a teaspoon of prepared mustard, going with following the directions, which is not usually my strong suit to ever follow directions exactly. So I didn't use Dijon mustard. And then I need 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder. So let me find my other measuring spoon here. And garlic powder. How can anything be bad with garlic powder? That's my theory. So here's a half, and we need 1.5 teaspoons. So that's a 1/2 tablespoon. Okay, so let's just do part of one. All right, we're obviously I can't follow a recipe after all, can I?
1.5 teaspoons.
1.5 teaspoons, and I already got 1/2 tablespoon. So we got plenty of garlic in there, okay? And I need 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch, which I have over here. I've got garbanzo bean pasta boiling back there. So I need 1.5 tablespoons of this. And we'll add the salt later. Let me zing this a little bit. And then we'll put it on. Okay. Then we're going to head over to the stove and start stirring this up. So add that in, and I'm going to get a scraper because there's too much good stuff in there to leave behind. And my handy dandy cameraman is stirring the pasta there. Thanks, hun. Got that going. And it calls for a cup of shredded cheese. I don't know, but I always get a block of cheese and shred it. Okay, kitchen timer, stop. And put this in to let it start melting down. There you go. And close that up to take care of later. I'll start stirring this, and let me take a look and make sure that I actually have everything in there. I know it called for some salt and pepper. So let me look at that. To me, this cheese is kind of salty enough, so I'm not sure you need it as much, but let's see, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So, okay. Let me get the salt down. And this is, I know it's a little more work. There's a 1/2 teaspoon. A little more work than opening your Kraft American cheese box, but got no preservatives in this, and we got no funky ingredients. I can do the kind of pasta I want. So if you want to do higher protein, if you want to do gluten-free, whatever, you have that option. So we just need to let this go until it's thickening, which it is already doing. So we're just going to let that cook for a bit. Let me lower the temp. And while my handy dandy cameraman gets out the strainer, thanks, hon. That's Kip behind the screen there. And we're going to empty the pasta. Shake it loose a little bit. We're going to let it drain in the pan until this gets done. Since I've not done this recipe before, drain pasta, add to the pot, serve hot, preferably, da-da-da. Okay, so this is all I need to do is let this thicken up. And have you shown how? This is, it would be yellower if I had used yellow cheddar cheese, but this was a white cheddar cheese. Do you have a favorite brand? Around here, we're in the Pacific Northwest, so Tillamook is the way to go around here. Love it, love it, love it. So I think this is just, it says it takes about 5 minutes to get to the right consistency. You don't want to overcook it, the recipe says. So heaven forbid, we should let that happen. And I would probably, had I had my act together, I would have taken some of our frozen broccoli florets out of the freezer to throw in here also. But we'll probably just have some green beans on the side so that we have something. The plan was to have air fryer salmon with it, but like I said, spaced out, didn't get the stuff out. But I already have chicken thighs marinating to go with the leftovers of the macaroni and cheese tomorrow night. So, and I'll show you that recipe tomorrow when I make the chicken thighs. So, yep, I think we're ready to add our rotini, whatever. And so I started this just about 6 o'clock. And so here it is at 6:20, and I didn't have anything prepped ahead of time. I took out the measuring cups and that's it. So in 20 minutes, which isn't that much, I don't know if it's any longer than it takes to put your Kraft macaroni and cheese together. Sorry, I didn't mean to do a particular brand, but I'm sorry. I think you can, and once again, this is, you can put in the healthier pasta, higher protein. It's worth the time and the effort. It really is, especially if you have pre-shredded cheese in the freezer. It's great. So I'm just going to let this cook for a little bit longer, and then it's time to dish up. So I'll let you know how it tastes. Well, actually, hang on just a second. Let me take out one little kernel. I learned last night, do not take anything right out of the bowl. The front half of my tongue is fried from trying the cabbage soup from the other day before it was cooled off. So I'm going to be a little cautious tonight.
The warning is the contents of this pot are hot.
Yeah, are hot. Oh my goodness. I think I'm glad I overdid the garlic. This stuff it's really good. I was a little skeptical, and you really can't tell that the cottage, there's no lumps from the cottage cheese because they're little twist and chop, really grounded up fine. And kids will love this. I'm serious. I think kids would love this. So give it a try, and I'll put the recipe link in. If anybody asks for it, I'll put it in down below. And bon appetit.